Welcome back. About 4 minutes and they'll be off and running in the 1989 Melbourne Cup, and I gather, Brucey, the money is pouring in for the Kiwis.
Yes, Empire Rose and Kosh King. Let's go down to the betting ring with Bob Maumill. Bob, we believe Empire Rose is a favourite, but Kosh King's coming in all the time.
Empire Rose favourite. You can still get 5 to 1 though, Bruce. There's been a huge move for Kosh King in the last few minutes. Kosh King, believe it or not, is now on second line of favouritism with Stylish Century and Cold Diesel. Stylish Century a little bit uneasy, but the big late firmer, without question, after the torrent of money for Rosie, has been Kosh King.
Thanks for that, Bob Maumill. Let's go to the barrier. Crackers, Keenan. Crackers, who's travelled best to the post?
Well, most of them are pretty good brutes at the moment because they've just come down here. A lot of noise down here, but Cold Diesel's broken out a little bit underneath the back legs, but they're all very relaxed. Jockeys are probably nervous, more nervous than the horse, because you get to a stage where you've got to get the good break. You've got to be out of the gate quick and find your posse where you want to be. And you've got a long run, but you want to get a posse so your horse is relaxed and you can get his wind open and get him travelling nice.
So at this stage, no problems with any of the favourites?
No, nothing at all. They're very relaxed. The horses are all in their stride. They know what they've got to do. It's the jockeys now that are planning their race. They're looking around. They're looking at the other horses, summing up their chances, seeing how the other horses have done over the last couple of days, and they'll be waiting to wait for the kick, move their horses out quick and find a posse, or get back behind the field and just relax your horse because you've got 2 miles to go.
And who better to tell us about a jockey's point of view than John Letts, who's won this great race twice, 1972, 1980. What are they thinking about now, John?
Well, Bruce, I'm sure that they wouldn't be worried much about the other runners in the race. They'd be worried about where they're going to finish up themselves in the run to the first turn. They've got a nice long run to the winning post the first time, and they want to be in a good position. All eyes will be on Rosie. It's interesting to note that nobody calls her Empire Rose in Victoria. They all call her Rosie. They love her, and when she went out on the track, it was just something to experience. The crowd here cheered her onto the track, and you'd think she'd just won the race. She looked in magnificent fettle. The 3-year-old looked very well, I thought. Stylish Century, he looked very nice. Kosh King looked magnificent as well. But all eyes are on Rosie, and if she wins, well, the grandstand, we're up the top here, but it's not going to be very safe where we're standing if she does.
And there she is, the champion mare, Empire Rose, and she's the subject of attention from eyes all around the world. 60 million viewers have joined us to watch the 1989 Melbourne Cup. Visitors have come from all over the world. One of them is with us in the studio, Charles Benson, one of England's most famous racing riders. Charles, welcome back to Australia yet again. You were just telling us there are a couple of very illustrious viewers out there.
Yes, I understand that both Sheikh Hamdan and Sheikh Mohammed are watching live in Dubai. I would like to give them a word of encouragement for Quds, but I really can't, I'm afraid. But they've won a lot of races and they're terrific owners, and I'm only sorry that Almiraj can't run.
Well, there's Mick Dittman on Sea Legend. Charles, you keep coming back year after year to watch this race, the Melbourne Cup. Why is that?
Well, I just regard this as one of my favourite outings of the year. It's a magnificent promotion. It's brilliantly sponsored by Foster's. This is a sort of promotion that really is worthwhile, and I love the atmosphere. I love the race.
Your tip?
Siddiston from Tasmania.
Well, Siddiston hasn't been tipped by a lot of people. It has been well fancied, and I know you think that Stylish Century can't win because you say a 3-year-old can't win this race.
Well, to our mind, it's impossible for a 3-year-old that's only 2 weeks, actually three-year-old 2 weeks ago. To us, this would seem impossible in Europe, but you do impossible things out here, notably beating the English cricket team this summer.
Charles, I think we're about to prove you wrong. I think he can win Stylish Century. Dan Mielicki to call his first Melbourne Cup, 20 years of age. Make it your best ever, Dan.
Thanks very much, Bruce McAvaney. Marvellous feeling as these horses line up for the Foster's Melbourne Cup. There's $1,815,000 up for grabs. And may the best horse win Australia's greatest race, the Melbourne Cup. We're almost set. Kutz is in. 2 more to come up. No more popular horse on the race course than this next mare, who will come into the gates with a big white blaze. 17.1 hands, 666 kilograms. She's massive. She's Empire Rose. There she is. Looks as great as ever. And what a reception she'll get if she can create history and become the 5th horse to win 2 Melbourne Cups. Rosie's set. Kosh King, another New Zealander, will be the last one to link up on the outside stall. 23 horses running. Scratching now Botto, they're set. Ready in the cup. Lights on. Racing in the Foster's Melbourne Cup, and there's an electrifying roar from the crowd. Empire Rose has jumped away well, and I reckon Allen's going to go up forward on her early. One of the best out, Pacific Mirage from Superimpose, going up to take the front running in the early part of the race. Research and Go Pack were up there as well, and so too is Plume d'Orvier, Stylish Sentry, and wider out Power of Destiny. Followed by Sea Legend, Hidden Rhythm just behind those from Ideal Sentiment, Empire Rose wide. The widest though was Kosh King. Kuds gets back towards the middle end of the field. Terrific next, and then the Phantom Palace Revolt. Catesmill out wide, then Sedestin, followed by Salis Opera. Saratov second last, and 4 lengths away Cold Diesel, given time to settle down. As they run down the front straight the first time round in the Melbourne Cup. And Power of Destiny leads by 3/4 of a length. Second on the outside was Kosh King, Stylish Sentry third, but he's about to take over the front running with a lap to go. Empire Rose goes to fourth, but 3 deep on the outside of Ideal Sentiment. Superimpose the rail, a length and a half away then to Sea Legend. Fleetwood Lads out 3 deep, and they were followed by Research on the inside of Hidden Rhythm. Go Pack next, and Kuds the outside, a length to Lord Highbrow and Plume d'Orvier. On its outside, Terrific, and then Pacific Mirage, Catesmill 3 wide. Palace Revolt the centre, a length and a half to the Phantom, followed by Saratov. A length and a half to Salis Opera, then came Sedestin, and Cold Diesel is 8 lengths away, last of all, the Caulfield Cup winner. 1,800 metres left to go in the Foster's Melbourne Cup. And the leader is Stylish Sentry. Going up on the outside quickly, though, was Empire Rose. A length away in third position, Kosh King. On the inside, fourth, Power of Destiny. About 2.5 lengths away, Ideal Centreman. Then Superimpose and Fleetwood Lad 3 deep, a length to Sea Legend and Research. A length and a half away then to Go Pack, and they were followed by Hidden Rhythm, Palace Revolt. Over on its outside was Plume d'Orvier, then Lord Highbrow, Kuds 3 deep. A length away, Terrific, and they were followed by Catesmill, a length to Saratov. 1 away on the outside, then to the Phantom, Sedestin over on the inside of Salis Opera. And 3 lengths away, last of all, was Cold Diesel, 15 lengths off the lead in the Foster's Melbourne Cup. They're passing the halfway point now, almost 1,200 metres to run. Empire Rose sitting up on the outside of Stylish Sentry. They're a length and a half clear now. On the inside in third placing, Power of Destiny. Kosh King now went up on the outside of the leader. Empire Rose to third. Here's Kuds whipping around them 3 deep, a length away, Ideal Sentiment. They're starting to bunch. Fleetwood Lad goes up on the outside, followed by Superimpose. Hidden Rhythm was out a little bit wider, a length further back in the field to Research. Palace Revolt starting to make a run around the outside, then Catesmill, Terrific. Plume d'Orvier, Sedestin a mile back in the field. Cold Diesel's 10 lengths away, and there's been a fall back in the field. Saratov has lost its rider, and Salis Opera's gone over the top, a fall in the Foster's Melbourne Cup. Around the turn, 600 metres to go, and Kuds kicked away. Kuds has raced away about 3 lengths in front, and second placing Superimpose, then Power of Destiny. Wider out on the track was Lord Highbrow, followed by Plume d'Orvier. Rosie's under pressure, she can't win. 300 metres to go, and Superimpose takes the lead in the cup from Kuds. Then Lord Highbrow down the outside was Terrific. Superimpose in front, it could be a Friedman Fenella. Superimpose in front, Terrific coming late on the outside. Kuds fights back, it's Kuds, Superimpose and Terrific's going to win the cup for Lee Friedman. Terrific kicked away and wins it, Quinella for Lee. Terrific first, Superimpose second, Kuds third. Then came the Phantom, followed by Sedestin. Lord Highbrow, Plume d'Orvier, Research, Power of Destiny. Then Sea Legend, Catesmill fell back, well back in the field, Ideal Sentiment. Then came Hidden Rhythm, followed by Empire Rose. She couldn't do it today, Rosie. Then Hidden Rhythm, well back, Ideal Sentiment, Cold Diesel, never in it from Stylish Sentry, Palace Revolt, Kosh King. And unfortunately, there was a fall. Saratov and Salis Opera have both come down. John, I missed it. I haven't seen the jockeys. The horses are okay.
They were way back in the field at the time that they fell down, but what a great training triumph for Lee Friedman with Terrific, ridden by Shane Dye, who partnered the winner of the Golden Slipper this year. Courtser now has come out and won the Melbourne Cup, but how do you think Darren Gauchi would feel? Darren's been riding Superimpose most of the time, and he has ridden Terrific, and today Shane Dye jumped on this Terrific and he's beaten Superimpose. Darren ran second, I think, about 4 years ago in the Melbourne Cup, and now he's had to settle for second again. And Kuts, what a great run for Colin Hayes in his last year of training to run 30. He looked the winner racing down past about the 300, but the long Flemington straight told him out, and there's Shane Dye coming back to scale now. Must be one of the happiest guys in the world. I'd say any racecourse in the world, Shane Dye today would be the happiest guy.
And why shouldn't he be, John? Because he's done what you did twice. He's won the Foster's Melbourne Cup, won the Golden Slipper earlier this year on Courtser, and now he's done what every jockey worth his salt wants to do in Australia and New Zealand, and that's win the Melbourne Cup. Another great result for the New Zealand jockey. And look at Lee Friedman, he can hardly believe it. Peter Donegan has him right now, and here's Peter with a winning trainer who's got the Quinella. He's done about Cummings.
Here he is now, Bruce. Lee, Well, to win a Melbourne Cup is fantastic. To run the Quinella, how do you feel?
Oh, it's a pretty good feeling. Pretty good feeling. Both horses had superb preparations, and I said to someone this morning that I thought if anything, Terrific would probably win because he just had the perfect preparation. And it was a great ride. And, I mean, to Quinella, I think it was Quinella.
Yep, you have.
It's unbelievable.
Now, when they got to the 200, superimposed, went up on the outside, looked the winner. Could you believe your eyes when you saw Terrific come?
I thought he was home, and then the other horse came out the pack, and I just couldn't believe that, you know.
Is it possible to sum up a moment like this?
Well, it hasn't really hit me yet. It's just, I mean, to have two and Quinella the Cup's just a fantastic feeling, yeah.
You'll never experience a better moment in racing than your first Melbourne Cup.
This is my second, yeah. This is my second, yeah.
Well, fantastic effort. Well done.
Thank you.
And go and enjoy the celebrations.
Okay, thank you very much.
Well, what Lee means, of course, is a terrific ran last year for him, but it's his first Melbourne Cup winner. There's no doubt about that. And I was speaking to Lee Friedman at the Geelong Cup meeting, and he took me aside and said, Bruce, have something on superimposed. We're not going to go to the Japan Cup. He can win the Melbourne Cup for me. That was a fortnight ago. Well, he's not a bad judge because the horse ran second today, and he was beaten by his stablemate, Terrific. What a moment for the Friedmans. The three brothers, they work together, Richard, Anthony and Lee. They've come down from New South Wales. Lee Friedman has based his training methods around Colin Hayes. He respects Colin Hayes immensely, still calls him Mr. Hayes on race day mornings. And today, he's done what Colin's been able to do twice and what Bart's been able to do, and that is Quinella the Cup. It's something that is very rare in Australian racing. Cummings did it with Light Fingers and Galilee in 66, and he did it in 67, rather in 65 with Light Fingers and Zima. Mike, it was a fantastic finish. Darren Gauci must have been counting the money. He was about to go to the front.
Extraordinary, though, nonetheless, because Shane Dye has such a great record in big races. A great record.
And Terrific was coming home at a rate of knots. He was wanting to hang in a little. Superimposed was being hard-ridden. And Charles Benson, who's still with us, Michael Clark on Poods rode a great race, but it was the toughest day who was able to come home.
He showed a lot of courage, Chris. I was impressed by him. He ran better than I predicted. Sheikh Mohammed should be jolly proud of him. I've made an idiot of myself, not for the first time.
Well, Colin Hayes, the man who the Friedmans idolised so much, was in here with us this morning. He told us to back Quds each way, and of course those who did have got a handsome dividend, and for a while they looked like they might just have picked up the Melbourne Cup.
He's a tough, brave horse, Terrific. He won 2 St Ledgers, won the South Australian St Ledger, won the Sydney St Ledger, both over more than a mile and a half, 2,800 metres, and today he's been able to come home. And as Mike said, Shane Dye, a big race jockey, rode the perfect race, brought the horse with a well-timed run, and he's been able to win the Foster's Melbourne Cup. A shock result in a way, odds of around about 20, 25 to 1, and I guess the story of the race, the favourites, Empire Rose and Stylish Sentry, both beaten before the home turn.
It was a shock result because of all the tips, and there were plenty of tips all day yesterday, all day today. I don't think I heard anybody tip Terrific.
Absolutely unwanted. Shane Dye, ecstatic as he should be. Darren Gauci in second placing. That's the second time that Darren has finished second in the Melbourne Cup. And Michael Clark, who's tasted a winner in 1986, has finished third on Quds. So Terrific becomes a legend. In 3 minutes and 20 seconds, a horse that not a lot of people would have heard of unless they went to the races each Saturday.
I'm going to say he's a horse that you'd back on a Saturday afternoon, but you wouldn't back him with any great degree of certainty. He's come out today and he's won the Melbourne Cup.
And let's go down and join Graham Kelly in the mounting yard after the Cup.
Well,
you're on, Graham.
Shane, how did that feel?
No, it's just a great feeling.
When did you think you were going to win?
Well, I'm a bit emotional, sorry.
Yeah, that's right.
Going out of the straight, I got too far away, and the inside horse tried to push me out, and I said, don't go, whatever you do, because we're not going to win. I said, all we can do is just save ground. They've gone too hard, and they were going to stop. I went to make my move at about the 1,000, but they all started to pack up because they just went too hard early. So I just saved ground. Before the turn, I thought, well, I've wasted nothing. I've got to go round them. And I thought, I was on the right horse, the best stayer, and he's won.
400 metres from home, you're going to get the money.
I was always going to win.
And how did it feel compared to the Golden Slipper and the Blue Diamond?
Well, I always thought the Golden Slipper was great, but...
Thanks very much, Shane. That's how Shane Dye made racing history.
Well, that's what this race means to the jockeys, the trainers and the owners. It's quite unique. Shane Dye's a cocky fellow, Mike. He's a guy full of confidence. The other jockeys like him. The press love him. He's always got a word to say, but today he was overcome with emotion, and I don't think there's any doubt what he thinks about the Melbourne Cup after that.
No, it's obviously something very, very special to him. He, as I said, he rides a lot of winners, something very special to Lee Friedman too. It takes me back, Bruce, I must be getting old. I remember the days when they used to say New Zealand jockeys couldn't sit on.
They can sit on it. I reckon Brent Thompson changed all that when he came over and rode for Colin Hayes. Well, there's Lee Friedman, who's done a Bart Cummings today and Quinella the Cup. I reckon when he went to bed last night, he might have dreamt of winning. He wouldn't have dreamt of this situation. I think it'll hit him in about an hour's time. After the break, correct weight, dividends, and the presentation of the 1989 Foster's Melbourne Cup.
Welcome back. There's the scene at Flemington after terrific. The winner of the South Australian St Ledger, and that was about the best he'd ever won before, came out only a few minutes ago, wrote his name into history by winning the 1989 Melbourne Cup, and there he is, Bruce.
And Mike, he's run the fastest time in history. He's broken the metric record and also broken Rain Lover's pace setter record, and this is how he did it. About 5 horses off the fence, Shane Dye with the whip in the right hand, Cuds on the rail, head-on shot here, terrific, inclined to hang down. Wanted to run in a little, Dye keeping him straight. Again, side on, you notice that he stopped riding him with the whip to make sure that he keeps in a straight line. I reckon Darren Gouchy's had one good long look across there and seen the stablemate go past and said, oh no, second again. Cuds under pressure on the fence. Horses starting to run on the Phantom and Citizen, but terrific going home a winner of the Melbourne Cup. Shane Dye puts the whip away and he's run the fastest time ever of 3:17.1. Fantastic performance by Terrific, and for those people that backed him today, they're going to collect a very healthy dividend as we check the prices all around Australia on the Melbourne Cup. And in Victoria, Terrific $13.60 and $3.95. Superimposed $3.15. Cuds $4.65. Quinella, the Lee Friedman Quinella, $109.25. Trifecta to come shortly.
Yes, I think they're still trying to work out that trifecta, Bruce. It's going to pay heaps.
It'll be enormous.
Because how many times on a Saturday afternoon, though, how many times you backed Terrific each way in a handicap and thought, oh, gee, he's run a good race, but, you know.
Plenty.
Yeah.
Absolutely plenty.
Extraordinary races bring out extraordinary moments, and here he was this afternoon. He comes out and wins the Melbourne Cup. To our international viewers, I hope you enjoyed the race. The winner, Terrific, ridden by New Zealand jockey Shane Dye. We'll see you again here at Flemington, hopefully next year for the 1990 Melbourne Cup. But right now, the 1989 Melbourne Cup has been run and won. To do the presentation, the chairman of the VRC, Peter Armitage.
Your Excellency, Mr. Premier, Mr. John Elliott, our friends in Churchill Downs, Kentucky, the Royal Hong Kong Jockey Club, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this great day at Flemington. The VRC is proud, in conjunction with Carlton United Breweries, to have put on for the whole of Australia the 1989 Foster's Melbourne Cup. And may I, before I introduce Mr. John Elliott, Chairman of Carlton United Breweries, add the club's congratulations to the winning owners of Terrific, the jockey Shane Dye, and possibly most of all, Lee Friedman, the trainer, for having Quinellaed the race and broken the record. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. John Elliott.
Your Excellencies, Mr. Premier, Mr. Chairman, Committee, other distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, they say it takes a war or a devastation to unite people. But on this day, the whole of Australia is united because the whole of this country stops for the greatest day every year, the Foster's Melbourne Cup. We are, our company, Carlton United Breweries, are delighted to be part of this great day, and it is truly a unique day for Australia. There are 100 million people that have watched the race around the world, and we do ourselves proud to put on such a great day and such an event. May I congratulate you, sir, as Chairman of the VRC and your committee for once again providing a great day for Australia. The Melbourne Cup, the Foster's Melbourne Cup, represents guts, teamwork and determination. And any horse that wins that race, and any man that's trained it, because it's the desire of everybody to win it, has performed an amazing feat. And I say to the owners, the trainer, the jockey and the strapper, you've put in a great team effort. And congratulations from us all on winning the 1989 Foster's Melbourne Cup.
Most on cue, the horses entered the mounting yard. Stylish Century handed back the favouritism to Empire Rose as punters again believed she could make it back-to-back wins. Today, however, the double glory belonged to local trainer Lee Freedman.
And it's terrific for the Melbourne Cup.
A tearful Shane Dye brought Terrific back to the winner's circle, while the Connections, a group of 4 Melbourne businessmen who purchased the horse for $60,000 4 years ago, tried to come to terms with owning a Melbourne Cup winner. It was without doubt the highlight of his career.
I went to make my move at about the 1,000, but they all started to pack up because they just went too hard early. So I just saved ground. Before the turn, I thought, well, I've wasted nothing. I've got to go round them. And I thought I was on the right horse, the best stayer, and he's won.
To win a Melbourne Cup is one thing, but to quinella it, well, that's something else.
It was a funny feeling because at the 200, I thought when Superimpose moved up and dashed to the front, I thought, well, maybe he's going to hang on. I thought, God, what's this thing down the outside? And it was the other horse. I just, I was over the moon then. Over the moon.
And what about when they actually crossed the line? I mean, how long does it take for something like that to sink in?
Oh, I knew. I knew. Yeah, no, you know those things.
The 5-year-old stallion carried on a family tradition for the Freedmans. In the 1930s, their great-grandfather rode 3 Cup winners. North to tackle Sydney's Autumn Carnival. The Connections haven't even started celebrating today's win, but already they're planning to add another Melbourne Cup to their mantle in 1990. Tony Jones, National 9 News.
And boxing on his Power of Destiny. At the 400, though, Kutz kicked away a length and a half. Superimpose is coming out of the pack out after her. Then Lord Highbrow. And now Terrific is winding up down the outside, coming quickly. At the 250, Superimpose grabbed the lead. Terrific on the outside, the danger. Kutz is boxing on. Then the Phantom from well back running home. But Terrific on the outside grabbed the lead 100 metres out. And it's Terrific for the Melbourne Cup. Terrific win by Terrific. Wins by 3. Superimpose maybe second, tight for third, the Phantom and Kutz.
Terrific gave Shane Dye a riding double for the day and breaking the track record, starting at 30-1 from stablemate Superimpose at 25s, with Kutz third at 50-1. Unplaced favourite was Empire Rose at 9-2, and Connections retired the gallant mare that's captured the hearts of Australians after the race.
Some ground followed by Prince Ominium. Down the straight at the 300 now. Bistro Bow round to the lead. Swifts in quickly tackling it. Plush Embassy boxing on, followed by Prince Anton. And Royal Creation from well back is starting to fly. Swifts in though, gained the break of the 100, and it's a winning break. Swifts in wins by 2. Second, Royal Creation, a big run.
The brothers Welter, and there was plenty of money to say that a 4-set could make it a bigger day for the Freedman stable.
On the outside, going quickly is Black and Fast. In the centre is Inca. Fighting Man is back on the rail, followed by Demon Fever. Gilda Lily buried away, needing a run, followed by Black Blaze, and back in behind them, King's Pavilion, who's now getting out. He was buried back. He's starting to run home quickly. King's Pavilion, followed by Elgin Farrar at the 150. Racing up now, Black Blaze grabbed the lead, tackled by King's Pavilion the outside. Black Blaze just in front. King's Pavilion drawing to it. Black Blaze and King's Pavilion. Black Blaze may have wanted a nose to King's Pavilion. Elgin Farrar third.
Black Blaze, written by Jim Cassidy, started at 9-1. King's Pavilion was second at 7-2, with Elgin Farrar third at 9-2. Unplaced favourite was a 4-set at 13-4. Andrew Bensley, National 9 News.
Beating stablemate Superimpose. Empire Rose ran favourite at 9-2 and was immediately retired after her disappointing 15th. Stylish Century was last to finish.
Racing in the Cup. Empire Rose jumped well. Kutz didn't begin very well. Kosh King away nicely with Ideal Sentiment. Coal Diesel drifting across their heels quickly towards the rails early. Superimpose one of the first out. Pacific Mirage jumped okay. So did Research handy to them early. Go Pack up there on the outside with Stylish Century going forward. There's the Power of Destiny. He's lost his cloth cap early and he sprinted to the lead. Ideal Sentiment came across with him. Empire Rose up about 4th or 5th, settling down, and Kosh King's on her outside and a great charge early. And Coal Diesel settled down 3 lengths last of all. At the 2,600 metre mark, and Power of Destiny the pilot. Stylish Century fighting against Moses is second. Kosh King on his outside. Superimposed the rails as fourth from Ideal Sentiment. Empire Rose 3 wide when they go to the post the first time. She's moved up to fourth. Then came Research and Sea Legend together. Fleetwood Lad 3 wide. Wonder Hidden Rhythm, Go Pack. Then Coods and Lord Highbrow, Plume d'Orvier. Terrific was next in the field. He was being followed by Kate's Mill, who's wide around Palace Revolt. Further back in the field came Pacific Mirage on the rails and a length to Saratov. Then the Phantom, Chalice Opera and Citizen last of all when they race to the riverside. They've gone past the 2,000 metre mark and Moses let the Derby winner stride and Stylish Century found the lead. Empire Rose out 3 wide, went up and he's outside. The favourites are 1 too early, 1,800 metres to go. Kosh King sits back a length. Back behind those, Power of Destiny, fourth on the rails now in a break of about 2 lengths, Ideal Sentiment. Superimpose on the rails, followed by Fleetwood Lad. Then came Sea Legend, Research on the rails, about a length and a half to Hidden Rhythm and Go Pack together. Then Coods, Plume d'Orvier, followed by Lord Highbrow. Next is Terrific, Pacific Mirage, and then Saratov well back the fence. There followed about a half a length away to Palace Revolt and Kate's Mill. The Phantom was next, and then came Citizen over on the inside. They were being followed further back in the field by Chalice Opera, and about 5 or 6 lengths to Coal Diesel now. 1,200 metres left to go. On the inside here, the leader is Stylish Century. Still just the leader now as they sweep up towards the 1,000 metre mark. The 3-year-old is a narrow leader. Kosh King's gone up with him on the outside. A length away there's Coods going around the outside of them to take the lead. And then came Power of Destiny, Empire Rose, Fleetwood Lad, followed by Hidden Rhythm, Palace Revolt and Ideal Sentiment. Sea Legend trying to come into it. Further back is Superimpose over on the rails from Lord Highbrow. Research a fair way back. They're starting to bunch now. Terrific pulls to the outside. Well back in the field is Go Pack, Plume d'Orvier and the Phantom. Coal Diesel is second last. And as they sweep for home, I think Saratov has lost the rider. That's the one at the end of the field. Coods into the straight, the leader, when they sweep round the turn. Down to the 400 metre mark, leads by 2 lengths, Superimpose. Here's Lord Highbrow and Terrific finishing well. 300 to go and Superimpose has hit the front. He's drawn level with Coods and put his nose in front. Lord Highbrow, Terrific run on down the outside. Superimpose in front. Coods fighting back and Terrific coming at them on the outside. Superimpose in front. Good on the outside. Terrific wears him down. Terrific has hit the front. Terrific wins the Melbourne Cup by 2 lengths. Superimpose close for third between the Phantom on the outside and Coods the rails.
It was Terrific who started at 30 to 1, and it's certainly been a big year for Shane Dye, having won the Blue Diamond and the Golden Slipper Stakes in the autumn on Courtsa. Chalice Opera and Saratov both lost their riders. Well, now to the other races on the program, and a good day for Shane Dye. He rode a double, but for favourite, race 2 was taken out by Unspoken Word, ridden by Shane Dye and a clever ride in front on the first starter. Dwanid won the third on the program. Greg Hall aboard, scoring at 4 to 1. And race 4 was the Great Western.
Followed by Marwong and High Bailiff. Bistro Bow hit the front to Plus Embassy. Swift's in finishing well, 150 metres to go. The Greys hit the front. Swift's in drew away from Bistro Bow. Prince Anton Royal Creation flashing through late, but Swift's in has established a winning lead and scores by 2 lengths. Royal Creation. Photo third, Royal Reel, and on the outside of it, Prince Anton in front of Perfect Evening and Allure, then Steel Scoptress. It's Keen on Me and Perfect Evening. Perfect Evening got the nose in front and won it from Keen on Me. The margin will be a nose and third is Allure. Past Black Blaze and now King's Pavilion out wide. Black Blaze had reached the lead from Inca. King's Pavilion and Alcin Farrar late. Black Blaze in front of King's Pavilion, who's inch by inch taking ground of him. This is a bobbing finish. They go to the line together. I think Black Blaze might have just held off King's Pavilion in a photo. Alcin Farrar has run third, and then Prince...
Black Blaze got there by a short half head and a fine training performance by Bart Cummings. It was the horse's first run in over 12 months. And the last on the program was won by Echo Lass, coming from last. A big effort to score at 11 to 2. Daily double on Cup Day, 6 and 9, 300 and 320. The extra on 2 and 6 paid $68.30. Quadrella there, 1,865.55. The quad extra, $14,884.80, and the jackpot didn't go off. It'll go to Oaks Day on Thursday. And with the sun setting, the remnants of the big crowd are still making their way home.
For drunkenness, 7 for assault, and there have been reports of pickpocketing. 4 counterfeit $100 notes were passed at one of the catering areas, but for most, the winner of the Melbourne Cup eluded them, and they left the course without money in their pockets.
Poor Alex, he did that last year as well.